Some people cross borders, sit in beautiful cafes, fall in and out of love, and still carry a quiet emptiness that refuses to leave. It makes you wonder, what if the scenery is not the problem? What if the wound is traveling with them? Today we are exploring The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. At its heart, this is the story of a group of friends moving through Europe after a brutal war, chasing excitement and connection while trying to outrun damage that sits deep inside them. We experience the world mainly through Jake. He has money, friends, freedom to travel. Yet he carries a life-changing injury from the war that shapes how he sees himself and what kind of love he believes he deserves. No matter where the group goes, Paris or Spain, or a noisy festival packed with strangers, the same ache remains. Here is the uncomfortable truth the story keeps whispering. You can change locations faster than you can change yourself. It is easy to believe the next move will fix everything. A new city, a new job, a new circle. For a short time, the freshness works like a drug. Then slowly the old feelings return. Same worries, new background. Because the external shift never touched the internal bruise. A lot of us have done this. We reorganize our lives instead of examining them. It feels productive. It feels hopeful. But deep down we know we carry the problem in our suitcase. While they travel, the group is constantly busy. There is always another drink, another conversation, another late night, another train to catch. From the outside, it looks like an adventure anyone would envy. But when you sit with them long enough, you notice something strange. They are moving all the time, yet going nowhere emotionally. No one is truly healing. No one is building a future. They are orbiting the same fears, the same jealousies, the same heartbreaks. Activity begins to look like progress, but it is not. It is avoidance dressed as lifestyle. Think of the person who never spends a weekend alone. If there is silence, they panic. So they fill every hour. Parties, trips, endless, scrolling, constant company. The noise protects them from meeting themselves. Jake understands more than he says. He watches, listens, absorbs. Especially when it comes to Brett. Brett is the gravitational center of the group. Charismatic, beautiful, unpredictable. Everyone wants her. Jake loves her deeply. She cares for him too. But there is a barrier they cannot cross because of his injury. The kind of relationship she wants is something he cannot physically give. So they remain tied together in a painful way. Close, intimate, yet always out of reach. She moves toward other men, searching for passion and certainty. Jake stays near, hurting, but loyal, accepting a role that offers love without fulfillment. What makes it tragic is the absence of evil. Nobody wakes up trying to destroy anyone. They are simply people shaped by trauma, making imperfect decisions in search of relief. You see versions of this everywhere. Two people with genuine affection, but incompatible needs. They hope emotion will overpower reality. Usually it does not. Caring is powerful. Sometimes it is still not enough. Brett's pattern becomes clearer the longer you watch. Every time life threatens to become stable or quiet, she finds a new spark, a new man, a new rush. The excitement feels like meaning. The drama feels like proof she is alive. But intensity fades fast. Once it cools, the old emptiness returns, asking to be entertained again. It is like chasing fireworks and calling it warmth. Spectacular for a moment, gone almost immediately. Jake, on the other hand, practices a different kind of strength. He rarely makes speeches, rarely demands. He continues to show up for people, including Brett, even when it costs him. Some might call that weakness. It is not. It is endurance mixed with compassion. He cannot rewrite what happened to his body. He cannot force her to choose him. But he can decide the type of man he will be in response. Again and again he leans toward dignity instead of bitterness. Imagine helping someone you love even after they choose another path. Not because you expect reward, but because your care for them remains real. That is emotional maturity most of us struggle to reach. Many readers think the story feels sad because nothing dramatically improves. There is no grand transformation waiting at the end. But that is exactly what makes it honest. In real life, healing often looks like learning how to carry what cannot be repaired. You build small moments of beauty around the damage. A meal with friends, a shared laugh, a quiet act of loyalty. The sun rises even if the night left marks. Now look at the friend group more carefully. They love each other, yet they also trap each other. Everyone knows the tensions. Everyone sees the heartbreak forming before it arrives. Still they repeat the same journeys together. Why stay? Because the familiar feels safer than starting over. New people would require explanations. New spaces would demand growth. Within the group, they already understand the rules of the pain. How many of us remain in environments that hurt simply because they are known? We trade possibility for predictability. Another layer appears when you watch how they respond to figures like the young bullfighter Romero. He is focused, talented, certain of his role in the world. In him, they see purity, direction, something untouched by confusion. For a moment, they feel more alive just by being near him. But they are borrowing his clarity, not creating their own. Observing passion is easier than cultivating it. It is like watching successful people online and feeling inspired, yet doing nothing different once the screen goes dark. Admiration without action becomes another escape. As the journey continues, Jake begins to understand that the dream he and Brett once held is not going to materialize. Reality stands firm, yet he does not collapse into cruelty. He remains gentle, even humorous at times. This is not surrender. It is acceptance. There is a huge difference. Surrender says nothing matters anymore. Acceptance says this is what is true, so how shall I live within it? One path shrinks you, the other builds character. Here is something many people miss. These are not weak individuals drifting for no reason. They survived a catastrophe that shattered their sense of order. Of course they cling to pleasure. Of course they struggle with commitment. Stability was stolen from them. When you see them as survivors, compassion replaces judgment. Maybe you can extend that same kindness toward your own confusing chapters too. And in the middle of all this, the most powerful lesson slowly comes into focus. You can be limited, hurt, disappointed, and still choose to act with grace. Jay cannot win the romance he wants. He cannot change history. He cannot redesign the people around him. But he can remain decent, reliable, human. Sometimes that is the highest form of victory available. So here is something you could try today. Think about a situation in your life that probably will not transform no matter how hard you wish. Instead of asking how to control it, ask who you want to be inside it. Patient, honest, strong, kind. Shift the target from outcome to identity. Stories often promise big answers at the end. A door opening, a miracle, a clean future. Hemingway offers something quieter and maybe more useful. Morning comes. Your circumstances might look the same. Your heart might still carry weight. But you will again receive the opportunity to respond with dignity. And if you keep choosing that day after day, you may discover that this steady courage is its own kind of meaning.